What's up, YouTube? Good to see all of you in my new studio. I plan to go live from this studio from now on. We're going to do a couple different things in here, but excited to see all of you. So if you're out there and you're watching, I've already seen some comments even before the live happened. I could show you here. I'll put them on stage. I replied to a few of them, but let me know where you are, where you live. Is it cold where you live? I'm going to be going to Boston soon, and I saw it was 18 degrees Fahrenheit. That's -7 Celsius, which is crazy. I don't even remember that anymore. It's getting to that point. Sorry about the movement. If there's a little bit of not zoom, but focus issue on the camera. We're working out the kinks, folks. We're working out the kinks, but we wanted to get in the studio today since it's up and ready and running and ready to go. So where are all of you dialing in from? Drop it down in the comments. Make sure you can hear me. You can see me. Let me know. Am I good? Are you not able to hear or see me? Want to know all of it. I see 23 so far have joined, and I expect some more will come in the very, very near, not too distant future. So let me know. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Everything good? Audio, video check. Make sure you're out there. I see a bunch of you out there right now. David, Fofi, Victory, Asher, CQB Guru, OC Rizm, Amigo Secular. Nice. Elvin, good to see you. We got Paul. It will never happen, but a good topic for you to chat about. Way too many Israelis in our government for dual citizenship. It's fair. 0% chance. In Cabarete, virtual. I see you. That's awesome. Flask, 3747. Good to see you. Oh, it's all of a sudden popping in on me. We got Rosemary Mendez. All good. Thank you for that. Olaf says yes. Oh, I should do this. I forgot I could put this up on stage. What up, Big Willie? Or Big Will? Big Willie? Is that an I in there? My eyes are getting worse. Penguin. Papa Penguin pontificates. I always love seeing you here. Good to see you. Morning to you. Depending on where you are, I suppose. Hey, look and sound good. Gringo, like a gringo. I do sound like a gringo. Let's see. Interesting topic for sure. Good morning, Boston. Camilla, good to see you. I'm going to be coming up in I think the 17th to the 19th. I'm doing an inner circle. I have a lot of inner circle members up in Boston, so I'm going to do an inner circle get together in Boston. I'm looking forward to that. Just a couple of days up there. Going to see my in-laws. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. And actually, I'm bringing my videographer for the first time ever. He's never been to the United States. I'm just bringing him because he just got his visa. So I'm excited for him to come up and just hang out. So he just got it like 2 days ago. I'm like, dude, I got to go to Boston. You want to come with me? It's just me. He's like, absolutely. So I'm going to bring him up with me, Eric Jeffers. That'll be a lot of fun. What's up? Ya boy, Mikey. Jamie, what's up? Love the content. Recently purchased first DR property in Santo Domingo. Cassie. Ooh, you're fancy. You're fancy. Look at you. Nice job, man. Congrats to you. I'm assuming your boy Mikey is a he, so I'm saying it that way. Hello, Ross. Thank you, Waters 1619. I really appreciate all of that. It's been very, very nice. Today I did a reel on Instagram about the Veterans Center here, the VCI, Veterans Community International. And some of the people's like veterans are so passionate about veteran love. Like it was a fun reel to do. I put it out and like I've been getting like hearts and what do they say? Flowers all day. So it's a nice Friday. There'll be other days where I'm like, I'm the worst in the world. Everybody hates me. But today I'll take the love. Good to see all of you from Medellin, not too far away. I can almost throw a rock and hit it. Love Medellin. We did Medellin and then we went down to, what's that mountain that you climb like the steps up? That was a lot of fun. Almost died there in like a field with a rental car because it was muddy after we stayed in an Airbnb last second. And when I tried to pull up, it like the wheel slipped and we almost went backwards off like a pretty deep, scary. I can't remember the name of that town. It's Medellin's like an hour and a half away. Somebody will remind me of it. Hello, Elizabeth from New York City. Hello, W. Martinez in Orlando, Florida. There's so many of you out here. This is really cool. All right. Let's dive into the topic at hand. Hola, Hilda. Good to see you. Let's dive into the topic at hand. Welcome to Gruber Nation Live. I'm excited to talk about this topic. It's a big one. A lot of people have been asking about it. Senator Bernie Moreno, who's Colombian. Ironically, we're just talking about a Colombian, or Colombia, Medellin. Somebody that lives there proposed that dual citizenship be ended. It should not be allowed any longer. If you are an American and something else, you got to choose. Are you American or are you something else? Very, very interesting bill proposed. And just to be clear, it is a bill proposal. It's not something that's caught up in the Senate or the House or anything like that. It's just one senator out there saying, I think this is the way it should be. You should choose one or the other. What he's essentially saying here, let me do this. I'm going to add this to the stage so we can look at it together. So what he's essentially saying, if you look at this article, here's a bunch of the bullet points on it. I got to move around here. There's an effective date 180 days after enactment. So if it gets enacted, it goes into effect 6 months later, essentially. And it requires existing dual citizens would have 1 year to renounce all foreign citizenships or relinquish their U.S. citizenship. The failure to renounce a foreign citizenship, this is the big one, folks. This to me is the big one, the big kind of catch. The failure to renounce foreign citizenship within 1 year would be treated as a voluntary relinquishment of U.S. citizenship under that section. This is really interestingly worded, maybe smartly worded by Bernie Moreno as far as what he wants to do. The voluntary acquisition of foreign citizenship after enactment would trigger immediate loss of U.S. citizenship. This is where we're going to run into a problem with this proposed law. The legislation would require the Department of State and Homeland Security to establish verification procedures and update federal records accordingly. So this is all of what it is, right? This is all of what Senator Bernie Moreno wants to do. He wants to get rid of all of this. He wants to get rid of dual citizenship and make you choose. The issue, though, number one, on whether or not this can pass or not, and we're going to get to even if it doesn't, because it won't. Let me just be clear. This isn't getting off of the ground. This won't happen. Many reasons. I mean, hell, Melania Trump's a dual citizen. And somebody mentioned Israelis. Sure. I mean, I know there's like this love-hate thing with Israel right now. But there's so many people in our government, powerful individuals that are both. I mean, Elon Musk has multiple citizenships, right? Like, would he renounce South Africa? Probably, and keep his U.S. But like, this does not have the strength behind it for it to get taken off the ground. But even more than that, more importantly than that, while the language says, let me go back to it real quick. While the language says, where was it? Right here. Failure to renounce citizenship within 1 year would be, I love this, treated as voluntary relinquishment of U.S. citizenship. The reason that this guy, that Bernie Moreno, is saying it will be treated as voluntary relinquishment of U.S. citizenship is because the Constitution is very clear that you cannot force somebody to relinquish their U.S. citizenship. In fact, there's two different cases on point here. It is, I think it's Afroyim versus Rusk, 1967, and Vance versus Terrazas, 1980. U.S. citizens cannot be stripped of citizenship involuntarily. Only voluntary renunciation is allowed. There is almost zero chance that the Supreme Court, if this actually got traction, would actually side with the idea that, nope, this passes constitutional muster. Wouldn't happen. You're essentially saying, hey, if you don't give up citizenship from another country, then we'll treat that as voluntary relinquishment of your U.S. citizenship. No, you just forced me out of it. And then this one here, this other one that says voluntary acquisition of foreign citizenship after enactment automatically means you relinquish your U.S. citizenship. Again, that's involuntary for the person. You can't do that. This won't get traction. This won't get off the floor. This won't happen. That's my take, and I'm going to get your opinions here in a second, so drop them in the comments. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and all of that. However, all of that said, like, that's the legal muster. It doesn't pass the legal muster. My opinion. I think most people's opinions. It won't pass. Some people in the comments have already said that. However, it does speak to, where are we going? Like, what is this the gateway to? It's like anything, right? Like, if you were to say we want all drugs to be legal, and there was some movement toward all drugs being legal, any type, fentanyl, cocaine, you name it, and there was like a groundswell of support for this idea, I think most of us would be like, that's ridiculous. It'll never pass, right? But what does it do? What does it create? What happens as a result of that? So if I am somebody right now, and I am, who wants a second citizenship, like, I think that it's smart to go ahead and get that. Like, I've just sat on my hands for too long getting my DR citizenship. Now, does DR citizenship get me any more access to the world than a U.S.? No. DR citizenship and a passport doesn't do a ton. It really doesn't. And you can exist and live. I know plenty of people that are Canadian, American, European, that have lived here for decades. No citizenship, no legal residency. There's none. DR allows for that. In fact, somebody messaged me on YouTube earlier today and said, Jamie, I'm going to be in the country 4 months. What visa, whatever. I'm like, you can do whatever you need. Go through the legal channels if you want. However, you can also just pay the fine or the tax when you leave at the airport. When I overstay by 30 days or 90 days, that's what I do. I rarely am here more than 90 days. I'm rarely here more than 90 days. I usually have some trip. I was in Canada recently. I have to go back to the US for different things. I usually have some travel. That's just how my life is. And a lot of people that come here, that's to say, they're like, well, I'm only in the country typically 1 to 3 months before I make even a weekend trip to Miami and then retouch down or to Puerto Rico or whatever. So you can just pay the tax and leave. However, I think getting dual citizenship now is smart. And here's why I think it's smart. If I'm Trump or anybody for that matter, I look at this and say, this is interesting. Other people want, obviously to keep their dual citizenship, but there's this proposal. On the other end of it, there's this, I think it's out there. There's this golden visa, right? If somebody wants to spend enough money, they could essentially buy U.S. citizenship. Like, I think it's like $5 million or whatever. So does the USA citizenship, dual citizenship is perfectly allowed. However, there's a $5,000 tax for every citizenship that you get outside of the U.S. Does that get enacted? Effective January 1, 2027, anybody who files for dual citizenship, which is perfectly fine, you can go do that. It's going to cost you $5,000 per citizenship. I don't know. I haven't heard that anywhere. I haven't heard that said anywhere. No pundits have brought that up. In fact, as I'm saying it now out loud, does somebody watch this and say, good idea? So did I unintentionally just create that? I don't know. But my thought, if I'm somebody who's saying, okay, look, we're not getting rid of dual citizenship. There's one of two things, though, that if I say, but I understand the sentiment and I could do one of two things. Well, I could do one thing, really. I can make it harder for somebody to get dual citizenship, to satiate this side of the movement that says we don't like the idea of dual citizenship. Make it harder by making it costly, make it harder by making it more lengthy, make it harder by delaying paperwork processing or adding levels of scrutiny to the process of getting a second citizenship. It's a lot of things that can happen. So my take is, if you've got the opportunity and you're an American who may be moving down here or wants to come down here and you're married to a Dominican, over 2 years, if you're married to a Dominican, pretty easy pathway to citizenship. Go get it. My kids are dual citizens. My wife is a dual citizen. I don't want to go to the police station to get my fingerprints done because I know it's going to take all day. Although when I'm in Boston, maybe I'll go to the consulate in Lawrence and get it done, or just the local FBI office and get it done. It'll be much quicker and cleaner. But the point is, I don't see this passing. However, it's not as if he's like the only guy out there feeling like this is the right thing to do. I personally don't agree with it at all. But again, I'm more of a pragmatist. I don't get into like, he's wrong. Oh, how evil. Who cares? It doesn't matter. We could be offended to the hilt. We could be upset and annoyed at the suggestion of this bill. But it doesn't matter. To me, I look at it like, okay, well, what does it mean? Not going to get passed. I mean, I would be blown away. I think most of us. I think if it passes, I'll be as wrong as 99.9% of everybody else who's saying the same thing. This ain't passing. Unless somebody knows something I don't, drop it in the comments. But then I look at it like pragmatically and say, well, but if it's got any momentum whatsoever, there are changes that can be made to make dual citizenship harder for me. What's interesting about this, though, is if this does get any kind of attention, if this does make it to the floor of a debate, in the Senate or the House or whatever it might be, it is like, what's the U.S. government doing here, right? Like, I don't like when governments try to box you in more and more. And what's interesting is typically my experience, the left is a little bit more like big government. The right is always like, hey, stay out of it. And I've always said I'm center right for that reason. I believe in government, like stay out of my business, stay out of my life. This is like a GOP senator making, to me, what seems like a very much more like a government oversight move. Like, this is a control play. I don't like a control play. I don't think I would ever renounce my U.S. citizenship if forced. And I also believe that if that ever happened, a country like the Dominican Republic would just make it like, hey, we can't lose these digital nomads and expats that are here. So we'll make it really easy for them to stay. I believe that. Whether you agree with that or not, or like that or not, is irrelevant to me. I'm just giving an analytical view of this. But to me, I think it becomes potentially harder to get dual citizenship in the future, be it costly, processing, whatever it might be. And I don't like the move by any government to try to box me in and control me more. And that's, if anything, what bothers me more about this than anything else that goes with it. So let's move the stage real quick. I'm going to go to some of your comments. Let's see what some of you are saying. Cliff says, take the gated off, cool without it. Take the gated off. I'm not sure what that means. We'll go to, is it Ione? I'm not sure. New citizenship for Americans should be Somalian citizenship. That's an interesting take. Not sure I get that. Hola, Jamie from cold Nova Scotia, Canada. It's a frosty -7. God bless it. My God. I agree. I will never renounce by force. There you go, Ravas. I don't see any avenue. I don't care if you're right or left, if a GOP senator proposed it, you have conservative justices. If this ever got to the Supreme Court, which I don't see it even getting onto the floor of the Senate, and maybe that's as far as it goes, but I don't even see it getting there. This would not pass the Constitution. It would not pass the Constitution. Natalie Vasquez says citizens can lose citizenship by taking oaths for foreign governments, serving in foreign militaries, or applying for foreign citizenship with intent to relinquish U.S. nationality. Interesting. That's good to know. I wasn't aware of that specific law. I'll have to research that a bit. Does the U.S. government know you are getting another citizenship? Yes. Flask. So in order for me to get DR citizenship, for instance, I have to submit. Why does that keep doing that? I have to submit my fingerprints to the FBI in the U.S. for them to clear it before I can get DR citizenship. So, they know. They would absolutely know. Elizabeth says, how is the U.S. going to charge for something another country gives you because you qualify? Because most countries, my understanding, and this is my experience with DR, most countries require some sort of, background check or connection with an FBI database. They want to know this is what's funny about the U.S., and this is where people might think I'm getting politically to the right, but I don't really care. You take it as you will. So many in the U.S. Get nutty about immigration. Like, the U.S. is so bad with immigration. First of all, they take the most immigrants in the world legally, over 1 million a year. So the U.S. is very immigrant friendly in that regard. I know ICE has done some things that I don't agree with for sure. That's a separate issue, but a ton of immigrants come in. And the second thing is the U.S. not wanting criminals in the country. Like, I've seen some deportations that's like somebody committed a crime years and years ago, and now they're being deported, and they may have reformed themselves. Again, I think each case should be treated individually. I think that's where ICE is failing. They're a little bit too A, B binary. I think that's the problem with ICE right now. I also can acknowledge that you have 30 million people coming to the country. That's a big mess to clean up. Be that as it may, nobody knows the right answers on that. I shouldn't say that. Nobody's perfect. We'll put it that way. But other countries don't want criminals. They don't want a U.S. citizen that's coming over that, look at Canada. if for a U.S. citizen to go to Canada that's had a DWI in the past 10, 15 years, you may get rejected to come just to visit Canada. A U.S. DWI, you may get rejected to visit Canada. So unless there's something I don't know, and there's very likely something I don't know, the U.S. can charge because they're going to be notified if you're requesting dual citizenship. So they can say, great, yeah, okay, here's the process. You got to pay this in order if you want us to approve or pass through what they're looking for from us to that country for you to get your dual citizenship. But maybe I'm wrong. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just a YouTuber speculating out here. They can start by ending dual citizenship, all elected members of government. Yeah, there you go. That's right. That's the whole shut this. I never agreed with either. Shut the government down. We got to do it. But you get paid. All these senators and Congress people, they all get paid. But the air traffic controller doesn't. Are you out of your mind? You shut the government down and don't pay the Congress people, guarantee you that would never be shut down again. That's the craziest thing in my mind. They could say elected officials can't hold dual citizenship. Exactly. Denaturalization requires a civil or criminal case in federal court initiated by the Department of Justice. Yeah, it's a big deal, right? You can't just, you didn't relinquish that other one like we want you to. So even if there's a law in place, it's unconstitutional. It's not a constitutional law. Spend your SS retirement pension money anywhere you want. Dual citizenship or otherwise is irrelevant. It's fair, senor. Kisia. I ain't going to kisia, but let's go here. What do we got? Natalie, 161 watching. Let's go. We got 169 now. Yeah, hit the like button, folks. This is my biggest live yet. Thank you to all of you. I really do appreciate you coming on. It's a topic that's really interesting to people. We're going to talk about Canada and its travel advisory for DR next, so stick around. But let me just see what else we got here. Ho. I just did the English H and the Spanish H. Ho 3190. I'm going with it. The hell with it. Everyone knows the right answers to ICE because ICE is the right answer. You meant no one knows the correct answers to ICE. What? Oh, you just tripped my brain. I don't know if I understand that. Here, look. I don't know. I'm not anti-ICE. I think you need ICE. I think there's people like, get rid of ICE, get the masks off. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I get not a good look. However, I also get these people are so vilified. They're human beings. They're American citizens that are carrying out lawful orders, whether we like them or not. So masking up, I kind of get, but Also, I know it doesn't look good. If you've been on these lives before, you know I stand on both sides of everything, guys. Like, I'm not a right left guy. I'm like, what makes sense to me? I get both arguments. I don't have a good like death knoll to say this is why they should be masked up and doing what they're doing. And again, I always say this, like, I fully blame the Biden administration for a portion, as I do the Trump administration for some of the treatment. I blame the Biden administration because, like, I look at it this way, and this is such a bad analogy, but hopefully you guys will get it. If I had some kids over, right? My kids have their friends over and they make a little mess, I can clean up that little mess. If I left for a few hours, I came home and it's a massive mess, like a mess everywhere. Like, the cleanup of that mess isn't going to be as nice if it's big versus small. Like, I'm throwing stuff, but like, what the hell with it? I'm just going to throw this away. I'm going to do things I normally wouldn't because of the size of the mess and the amount of work it takes to clean it up. When you let in, I don't know, what's the number? 30 million people, like, without documentation. I mean, when you let in that many people, now ICE has to go out and, like, they're going to discriminate on, okay, in this house you stay. No, but you had a DWI, but yours was long ago. I see your social media. You've done a lot of positive things. And I understand why it's messy. I don't like it. I hate seeing people yanked out of their home. Like, not the true, like, Tren de Agua gangsters. Like, get them out. I get that. But some of these folks who have just, like, overstayed, but they have lives and children there. Like, I see it here, guys. Like, I see Haitian people being picked up in trucks and shoved into cages. Again, I fully support DR's need to secure their border. But as a human being, just watching other children of God, human beings being caged and God knows what after that, it's hard to watch. Does that make sense? Like, it's on both sides of it. I sit on both sides of that whole thing. But yeah, I'm not anti-ICE. I just think that, yeah, I definitely don't disagree that what I see of ICE, some of the more sensational stories that you see, doesn't feel or look good. What do we got here? Senora Lequicio, 7688. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. You got to, like, phonetically sound it out for me. But absolute power corrupts absolutely. Wow, I love that's like poetic. I love that. That's true. They just dragged a white woman out of her car in Islamorada. No bueno. Ooh, I haven't heard that story. Well, Trump will lose the vote that got him in. He lied to us. He said he will get rid of criminals. Now he's terrorizing communities. That's a massive risk for him. I don't disagree at all with you, Vladimir. I don't disagree with that at all. Like, there's a lot of support on the rhetoric that he had around this criminal. And then the definition of criminal, kind of like, it seems like it got expanded a little bit. Elvin, I don't delete comments, man. There's only one guy a couple weeks ago that was just being a douche. I got rid of him, but I didn't delete anything. I can't even coordinate all of this and delete a comment. So just drop it again below and I'll take a look at it if I missed it. Papa Penguin. I love Papa Penguin pontificates because he does. He likes to pontificate, Papa Penguin. He pontificates while Papa Penguin, I got to think of other P words. Only poop comes to mind because I have two boys at home, 10 and 7, and they say poop a lot. Papa Penguin poops and pontificates. That's not an insult, man. I'm just like, we all poop. Everybody poops eventually. That's actually a song. Everybody poops. I saw the number jump of people watching as I'm singing Everybody Poops. That's hilarious that's what they came into. Papa Penguin. The problem is so large, it's impossible to solve without getting ugly. That's it. That's Papa Penguin pontificates is like he's like my Cliff Notes. Because that's exactly what I was trying to say in my long form, rambling. There are no solutions, only trade-offs. Nothing is perfect. I say that about living here in DR. Like, I'll put out a video, and I did, about, hey, get a lawyer in this country. Here's a story. We got into this bad accident. They were going to put us in jail while they investigate, and only a lawyer got us out. And so many people commented like, oh, so that's why I would never live there in the United States, blah, blah, blah. That's why the United States. It's like, okay, look, that whole process to me here in DR of like, hold up, we're going to jail you or somebody can get you out. I think that's flawed. I do. But it's the system. I chose to live here, right? Like, I'm not here to change anything. That is not, people have asked me that. Like, what would you change that? Like, I mean, I would change the driving. I think driving's insane. There are things I would change, but my point is like, my objective is I'm going to move there and make change I'm going to move there and make changes. My objective is, as a content creator, like, there's so many amazing things happening in this country that people should know about. Like, I don't know why Costa Rica is getting all the pub. This country is like, I mean, No offense to Costa Rica, but are you kidding me? There's no comparison, in my opinion. As far as the diversity of what you get here, the mountains to the beach, to the oceans, to the North Shore, to Cayo Arena, like there's so much here. The cities here are like legit cities. Santiago, Santo Domingo, Punta Cana is becoming one. So that's my whole thing. I don't even know where I was going with this. What was I trying to say? No solutions. Oh, that solution or that issue of like, oh, you could have gone to jail. That's so stupid. I'll say to that person, yeah, you know what doesn't happen? Like, look, I had to make a call to a lawyer and get out. And now I know what I need to do if ever I'm faced with that situation again. But you know what doesn't happen? My kids don't know what an active shooter drill is. I mean, think about, can we just, if you're an American, and I've talked to a lot of people, friends that live in the US, and I was one of these, where school shooting, all of that, these active shooter drills were being equated to like fire drills. Like, no. As a kid, it's like, hey, folks, you know, a fire could happen. If it does, we want to just make sure you know what to do. I get that. But an active shooter drill is saying to a kid, it's like, hey, kids, today we're going to pretend that a man is here to kill you. What do? We get under the desk. We lock the barricaded door with these different devices. Now, like, are you crazy? I'll take, if I hit a moto and they need to investigate it, I can call my lawyer and I'll be okay. Or hand in my passport so I don't leave the country while they investigate. Like, there's ways. But I can save my kids from ever knowing what an active shooter drill is. I'm not saying, again, that the U.S. is imperfect and DR is perfect, or that the DR is imperfect and the U.S. is perfect. I'm saying that every issue in every country has its perfect and imperfect. Simple. If you're sitting in -7-degree weather in Canada right now, it's more perfect here. Just saying. 82 degrees and chef's kiss beautiful. It is the best time of year to be in the Dominican Republic. Now for the next 6 months. It's awesome. It's not that great to be in Canada unless you're a glutton for punishment and you love the cold, and some do. There's imperfect and there's perfect. And the same thing with this topic about this point that Papa Penguin pontificates about, maybe while he's pooping, because I got to add in peas. What's another P word? Pringles. He's pooping Pringles. That'd be painful. The problem is so large, it's impossible to save without getting ugly. Exactly. All big problems require, unfortunately, big, messy solutions. Let's see. The correct answer is ICE to ICE's Johnny, Jose, and Jack. I don't know what that means, Elvin. Maybe that was your comment that you thought I deleted. The 30 million immigrants is an easily verifiable lie propagated by Marco Rubio. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like that number was popping up like throughout the Biden administration as well. Maybe it's 20 million. I don't know. It's a lot. I don't think anybody disagrees that the border was essentially open for 4 years. And that was a mistake, in my opinion. Star Trek. What the hell does that mean? I don't know what that means. Senor Star Trek? Is that the Senora Kisio? Star Trek? I don't know. Dominicans should not be hypocritical and be upset when the U.S. defends their immigration policy. Biden pressured Abinader to open the border to Haitians, unidentified, mostly criminal and ungrateful. I've heard that as well. I don't know if it's true. Let's see what we got here. Other comments, and then we're going to talk about Canada. Oh, Canada. What are you doing? What are you doing? Doug P. Rico, are you here? Doug, I don't know if Rico's here, but it's good to see you, buddy. My favorite Santiago guy. One of my favorites. There's probably another favorite Santiago guy. Sorry, Doug, but you're one of my favorites. The Cuban living in Miami entirely supported Cubans living in Miami, Donald Trump, only to be thrown out back to Cuba. Great content. Maybe. Yeah, that's fair. The Cubans did break for Trump. No doubt about it. I'm a Costa Rican. Am I going to get yelled at? Just visited DR a month ago for the first time for a week and got me some land already. Beautiful place. Oh, okay, good. Okay, so you're okay. I didn't make you feel bad about Costa Rica. Let's see what else we got here. I get it, Alvin. You're saying Johnny Walker, Jose Cuervo, Jack Daniels. Very good. Very, very good. Anything else that we have? If not, I am going to go to the next topic. Let me get it up for you guys. The topic. Let me get the topic up for you guys. Don't be weird. How do I do this? I have to stop. I have to get a producer eventually. What the heck? I don't know what just happened here. I got to get that out. That was weird. Try getting background noise. Hold on. There we go. That was weird. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but let me. Oh, I know what I did. I hit the wrong button. Let me share another article for all of you. Let's go right here. So here it is, everybody. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Definitely going to need a producer in the future, don't you guys think? We plan to get a couple cameras set up. I have a second chair. I'm going to bring in guests. We're going to make this a show every Friday, folks, all for you. But here's what we got. Let me get rid of this Johnny Walker thing from Elvin. Where is that? I got to hide current comment. There we go. All right. So this is, let me add it. This is the other story. Canada updates its travel advisories for Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Costa Rica. And in general, what they said is that all three of these countries essentially need to exercise a high degree of caution. We'll go down to DR here. So exercise a high degree of caution. Now, the article was very clear in saying that Canada is not saying don't visit. Canada is simply saying be mindful of certain things. So for Canadians looking to escape the great winter, the Dominican Republic offers fantastic white beaches, The Dominican Republic shares land and sea borders with Haiti, which are closed to travelers who are also warned of the security risks near the border. Tourists are also warned of violent crime, petty crime, cybercrime, fraud, harassment, sexual assault, and spiked food and drinks. According to the government, some Canadians who have traveled to the Dominican Republic for cosmetic and other elective surgeries have suffered serious health complications. So make sure to do your research and only use reputable healthcare providers. Canada recently updated the passport information for travelers. Make sure your passport is valid for a minimum of 6 months. So here's my thing with all of this. Like, I get it, right? Like a country needs to protect its citizens. They want to make sure to tell you, like, hey, this has happened. We've seen this. We've seen that. But when I read these advisories, like, I think countries know this, US, Canada. I think they know this, that nobody reads the fine print, not even the fine print. Nobody reads the print. They read the headline. So when they see exercise enhanced caution, a high degree of caution, you know, or you have to know that that means, oh my God, I shouldn't travel to the Dominican Republic for a lot of people. And that drives me up a freaking wall. The US issued the same thing, level 2 travel advisory in June, and they made this big news story out of it like it was new. They've been, that same travel advisory, so level 2, has been in place for the last decade, and they update it every year to 2 years. And it actually said the same thing that the advisory they issued the year before said. It wasn't like new warnings within the advisory, it's the exact same warnings. But what this advisory kind of fails to do, in my opinion, is like, I don't know, apply common sense. Yeah, look, maybe you should go to reputable healthcare providers, but some people do. They're like, oh, I can get a Brazilian butt lift for $1,800. Like, sign me up. Are you like, you out of your mind? This is a thing with DR. And I'll just say this, because I'm going through this right now with our house that we have, the house that we purchased and we're moving into today. Actually, my wife has the mover with her today, and I'm serving all of you with content. Look at that. But what we've learned in this process, and let me acknowledge something for those of you that are like, yeah, but that's Punta Cana. Of course. Punta Cana is the second somebody passes the peaje into Punta Cana, they're charging 30% more. Understood. And people will pay it. So like you do your best to negotiate it, but these contractors and these workers are going to get paid by other people here because there's a lot of money in Punta Cana, granted. But the idea of DR being cheap, it kind of needs to end, in my opinion. And I don't mean like you can't get a $1 Presidente, you can't get a $4 La Bandera plate. Like you absolutely, like, don't get me wrong, it's less expensive. But when you're coming down here for healthcare like that, to have surgery, like please pay attention to, like, if you're being charged a little bit, doesn't mean if you're being charged more, they're automatically good, but like pay attention. If you're being charged a little bit, be careful. If you're coming to Punta Cana and I see these signs and it says, get a studio in Punta Cana for 68 grand. Are you like, look, maybe people feel that's what the price should be, but it's not. Punta Cana has become 120,000, 100,000 maybe and up for even a studio in communities you want to be in. You can get the $68,000 condo, but it's going to be in Verón. Just like you can get the $1,800 BBL, but it's going to be a back alley non-licensed practitioner doing it for you. So all of these warnings, in my opinion, are avoidable by simply applying common sense. Now, I know common sense doesn't exist everywhere, so countries need to warn their citizens and all of that, but still, it's a little bit crazy to me, and I think some of these warnings are more alarmist than anything. And it drives me crazy when I see like I've seen woman dies on plane on trip back from Punta Cana or Dominican Republic. It's like, well, what happened? Oh, she suffered a pulmonary embolism mid-flight. It's like, okay, what is that? Did she scuba dive here? Like, what does that have to do with Dominican Republic? Like, well, nothing, but that's just where she was coming from. Oh, would the headline read, Woman dies on flight on way back from Austin, Texas? No. So what does the headline do? It puts fear in people. Oh my God, she went to that quote unquote third world country and died because, of course, it's a third world country. And then that's what happens when you go there. So, oh, well, at least that won't happen to me because I'll never go to that third world country when it had nothing to do with being in the Dominican Republic. Nothing. So that stuff just drives me absolutely up a freaking wall. And yeah, this Canada thing, while I understand they're protecting their citizens, to me, it's a little bit over the top. Let's see what comments we have coming in here on everything. We have Vernon Edmonds. All countries have imperfections. You can adapt, or stay put. Well said. Really well said. They need to leave us alone. Man, damn, I know. These advisories to me, again, I get it. I just think that they get a little over the top with them. And honestly, what you don't see is that places like England and Japan, for the U.S. at least, have similar advisories. Be mindful of the immigration issue. Be mindful of mass shootings, right? Like those advisories exist for the U.S., especially the U.S., though, less than Canada, especially the U.S. The U.S. is so insular because you have everything in the U.S. You have every climate. If you're in Canada, you can't get tropical without leaving the country. You got to go somewhere, Florida or the Caribbean or wherever. But in the U.S., you can get desert, you can get mountains, you can get everything. You have two coasts. I mean, like you never have to leave. You want islands? Great. You got Puerto Rico, you got Hawaii, right? All U.S. territories or states. So for an American, when they see anything travel advisory wise, like, oh, that's a dangerous place. If you were to ask almost every American, like, what's the Dominican Republic like? Third world country, unless other than those that, have been and understand, like, oh no, it's actually an amazing place. So these warnings, I think, seek to deter their citizens from leaving and spending money in another country. I think they want you to go to Banff in Canada, not to the Caribbean. I think they want you to go to Vegas or Orlando, Miami, not to the Caribbean in the United States. So I think that's what these travel advisories serve equally to the rest of it. Absolutely. Power corrupts. Absolutely. Star Trek. Oh, that's from Star Trek. Got it. Thank you for clarifying that. Let's see what else we got here in the comments here. While I have, this is Natalie. While I have zero Dominican ancestry, my connection to that country and its people is immense. I just came back to USA and it's freezing. Need to go back ASAP. Yeah, it's funny. One of the things that I try to remind people of, especially when they want to remind me that I'm not Dominican, which no doy, as we used to say when I was growing up, is, okay, number one, I'm married to one, right? So like there's that. It's like, oh, I get it. So you're like that guy that says I have a black friend. Like, no, I'm married to a Dominican woman. So what that means is the next logical statement is my children are half Dominican by birth. But even more than that, we're choosing to raise our kids as Dominican in the Dominican Republic, right? My 7-year-old, who was 4 years old when he moved here, we always say this, that kid is consciously Dominican. Like he doesn't have memory of life in the U.S. My 10-year-old, who was 7, is becoming more and more consciously Dominican as he gets older. He remembers the U.S. a bit, but he was 7, So it's two different stages of life. However, they're being raised Dominican. So my interest in not being yet another voice crapping on the country, like so many do, talking about, oh, this is bad. Look at this. Look at this news. In Bavaro, this person got assaulted. What do you have to say about that, Jamie? Like, I have to say that bad things happen everywhere. But my interest is, like, our kids, we're moving into our house that we purchased today. We're here, folks, for the foreseeable future. 10 and 7. That means 8 years till they're out of school. Well, 11 years till they're out of school. Unless something changes, we anticipate being here for at least that amount of time. But then what for my kids? Do they have the opportunity to have a life here where they can earn a good living and do different things? Do they have to go to the US or Europe or somewhere else? I would much rather be part of the movement, small part, of where DR has gone and where it's going, where it's developed. In fact, I'll give you guys this here in a second. I'd much rather be part of that for the sake of my children's future than cow down or shrink because, well, you're not Dominican, you can only say so much. Like, there's some guys out there that create content that don't have kids and they chastise me for having an opinion. But it's like, until you have children, and you never have had one, and any parent on here. In fact, I would love your comment on this. Give me like a hell yeah in the comments if you agree that the moment you become a parent, I don't care how long you've been a parent, 30 years or 1, the moment you become a parent, no person that's not a parent can ever understand that. Ever. Give me a hell yeah on that if you agree with that. Because there's no way the person who says, oh, Dominican Republic, bad, without kids can understand why I would be more positive about or look for the more positives in DR. Having kids is just it's a different beast. So I'll take a hell yeah on that. One thing also, there's a lot of people who say like, oh, nothing ever gets done there. All the real estate projects are scams, all of that stuff, right? This is just kind of leaning into this negative thing that Canada put out there about traveling to DR. If you haven't been here in a year, and actually you guys can comment, like when's the last time you were in DR? When's the last time you were in Punta Cana? Let's even leave DR overall, but just Punta Cana. When's the last time you were in Punta Cana? Let me know the dates below. Because if you haven't been here in a year, I shared this with my inner circle the other day. I'll give you guys a bit of a preview of this or a little bit of a bonus content on this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? If you haven't been here in 1 year and you're hearing all this talk like infrastructure is a problem, and don't get me wrong, it needs to catch up. Infrastructure is a problem. All these things are a problem. Oh my God, they're growing too fast, blah, 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 but they can't keep up with this. They can't keep up with that. They don't finish everything. Everything's a scam. If you hear that from people, I'm going to tell you, if you haven't been here in 1 year, the last time you came was Christmas of 2024. And now we're coming up on Christmas 2025 and you have a visit scheduled soon. Now, January, February. Here's what you haven't seen. You haven't seen these things. The Ashton School has been built. The Cultural Center has been built. The Coral Reef Center at Playa Blanca has been built. The St. Regis in Cap Cana has been built. Those are all non-infrastructure, but like projects that started and have finished in the year that you haven't been here. The Circunvalación by Vista Cana, a roadway infrastructure, has been built. The new roadway from Avenida Barcelona to Turístico del Este, right by Cocotao, a pass-through, has been built. The overpass in Verón. If you guys have ever been here and you come out of Punta Cana Airport, there's a traffic circle that takes you north. You come to a light. Often that light is stopped. That light's not there anymore. That is a full overpass that's been built in the last 6 months. If you were here 7 months ago, you didn't see that. 6 months, the overpass in Verón. 300 new lampposts lining Turístico del Este. The entire way up past Vista Cana is lighted at night. I drove home from there, from this studio, Jeffers Studios, where I sit right now, right by IMG Hospital, and it was like being in daylight the whole way home. Whereas before, there's a stretch where it's like, if I'm going to crash, please don't make it here. Not because of anybody, but it's dark. It's dark as hell at night. So to have it lit all the way through, that happened in like 3 weeks. If you were here a month and a half ago, you didn't see those 300 light posts and lights that are active and operating on Turístico del Este. Bravo Supermarket started, got suspended. It's almost finished right on downtown. La Nube, which is a mall outside of Vista Cana. Boy, La Sirena right behind it. That's all being built. The Veterans Care International at Hotel Las Flores, that's built. The American Legion was just approved. Post 809 named after Colin Powell with the permission of Colin Powell's family. Bellón, if you were here a year ago, you might not have seen the Home Depot-esque Santiago chain Bellón that was built here. Logistics Center, the duty-free zone behind the airport and all the roads behind there that have been redone. Arajet has started operations in Punta Cana. New parking garage by the downtown, or at the airport. New parking garage downtown. Hasta la Tambora, an amazing merengue bar, is about to open any day now. The roads that have been redone in Cortacito Corrales, a place where I invested and said, I believe in the future of this. And everybody's like, they never fix anything there. The roads are done. They're fixed. They still have some drainage issues. Not perfect, but they're done. The W Hotel in Obero Alto. Punta Cana Verón Municipality is now its own municipality, separated from Higüey. All of this in the last 1 year. 1 year. So for all of those who want to hate on it, there's plenty of reasons. There's always like political corruption, motoconchos, the amount of craziness on the roads, the experience I explained up in Cabarete that happened to me. Customer service could be way better. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can lament. But you could talk about saturation levels. You could talk about this isn't good, but you can't deny the growth period that DR is in. And you can't deny that growth will bring pains. Look, my 10-year-old kid has gone through a couple of these spurts, right? Where he's like this tall, and then all of a sudden he's this tall. All of you have experienced this. All of you that are parents, I see all the hell yes down here. My kid sometimes will be crying at night. He'll wake up and come into our room because his legs hurt. We've gone to the doctor, figured out, you know what it is? It's growing pains. Now, look, if God himself created my kid, and with that creation, the natural flow of his life, he's going to grow. And in the stage that he's in, that growth will create pain that he has no control over. What do you think happens when you grow a city, a country, an economy? What do you think happens? If it's natural without any control for a child to experience pain when they grow, how in the world does a city not experience that? But so many people will dismiss DR. Yeah, they're building all that, but the infrastructure, they got to fix this. They got to do that. Like, yes, completely agree. I don't disagree with any of that. But can we give this growth spurt a little bit of, I don't know, leeway to experience some pain? Again, if I were king for a day, there are things I would say that they should do first and second, and priorities that should be priorities that maybe aren't. I'm sure there's misappropriation of funds. I know there is. All of that is true. But what's also true is every day I drive up and down the highway here, there's something new. Santo Domingo Motors just opened. I mean, it looked like it went up in 3 days. The City Place is like blowing up right now. The Hilton Hotel, Maximo Potencial, the IKEA store that they're breaking ground on. The Point just broke ground in City Place. I mean, you can't deny the growth. I just stopped in at the condo I bought in Cortacito yesterday. It's like they built a whole Veterans Care Center inside of that building that's going to open in a month. All the tile just came through Aduana. They're going to be tiling that whole building soon. Like, the progress here is insane. And yet, there are people out there that are going to tell you who sees that progress that, well, but it's DR. This is the problem. And they're going to look at me and say, yeah, but he's not Dominican. But my kids are here. And if you trust and believe me at all that I'm at least a loving dad and a loving husband to my family, then you can understand why I'd rather highlight some of the beautiful things here, acknowledge some of the bad, but highlight the beautiful. And all these people probably who don't have kids, I know a few of them that don't, and have no friggin' clue what it is to be a parent and what it is to say, hey, I'm willing to go out there and try my way. This is my way of doing it to make my kids' future better. Please. If you have a love for the country, if you have a love for the growth, if you love what you're seeing here, but you have some of these negative voices kind of coming at you, telling you like, oh, you're wrong, you're crazy. Unfortunately, often from legacy family, from other Dominicans, from Dominican Americans, Dominican Canadians who just, for whatever reason, don't want to believe that the place that they ran from, with good reason, the place that they were forced to leave potentially, or their parents were forced to leave, could actually be one of the hottest growing spots in the entire world. Blows my mind, guys. Blows my mind. Let's go to some of your thoughts. And then today I have to jump off at 1 o'clock because I have to pick my kids up from school because my wife, guys, if you see my wife on Instagram, I think she's at the Sylvia Gruber. She took my thing, Sylvia C. Gruber, the Sylvia C. Gruber. Just DM her that she's a beast. This woman, man, she has coordinated every appliance purchase, every mover, the guy painting, the guy building our new banisters, the guy restaining all the wood. I mean, we're doing so much work on that. She did so much work to get the house ready for us to move in today. I'm sitting in a nice, cozy, air-conditioned studio staring at all of you. And I get to do this because, you know, look, my family, my wife and I have done a really great job of understanding this key concept, right? Like one of us has to be the head of the household. There's no two heads. And that's me. Make the income, protect the family, all of that stuff. But like I say in my big fat Greek wedding, the man is the head of the household. The woman is the neck. This head of household doesn't get to stand out here and do all of this stuff without a neck to support it. Like everything is here. If this neck isn't here, then the head doesn't get to be up. My wife is everything, and she has crushed it, and it has not been stress-free. Claro's a pain in the ass. The gas company is a pain in the ass. They're all a pain in the ass. Service is awful. The community we moved into, the HOA had to sign everything. We did that. And then it was like, oh, but we also need a count of all of your appliances. And then I'm like, you couldn't have told us that. Pain in the ass. She's dealt with every bit of it. And I get to be here. So if you ever run across her, let her know she's a beast. All right, let's see what we got here. Maria Sabel Santos. I come here with my eyes opened. There are pluses and minuses, but being close to family becomes more important as years go by. Amen to that. D. Grudon. I was brought to New York because the poverty of the Belagor, I can always say his name wrong, days. I've given it all in New York, but I also do it for my home country, Dominican Republic. There's a guy. Let me see if I can find this real quick while we're talking, guys. I'm going to pull this up and see if I can find this amazing post from my buddy Pablo, who lives down here. He's Puerto Rican. Don't hold that against him, but he's lived down here for a long time with his wife. Where are you, Pablo's comment? I'm going to pull this up for you guys if I can find it real quick. Man, I take a lot of pictures. I screen captured it because I thought it was so well said. And I think many of you will agree with this here. I'll pull it up right now if I can. come back here. And where's my stage thing? Let's do this. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, will it allow me? Let's see. No. Hold on. Hold on. Well, let me share screen. Oh, stop screen. You guys are all, I'm going to get a producer, I promise, at some point. Window? Oh, come on. I know what I can do. I know what I'm going to do. You guys got to see this. It's worth it. It's worth it. Just stick with me for a second. It's totally worth it. I can do this, I think. Let me export it as an image. And then I can share the image with this technology, I believe. Let me get rid of this comment. Right here, we're going to go to image file, and I'm going to pop this up. Let me add it to stage. Did it not do it? Oh, it's right here. Add to stage. Here we go. This is from Pablo. Pablo, the Caribbean we're coming back to, he says. Let me get rid of this real quick. The Caribbean we're coming back to is not the same one they left. This is a segment from his thing. There's Wi-Fi, startups, schools, airports, global clients, and people just like us. Bicultural, bilingual, bringing skills and resources home. You're not going backwards when you move back. You're bringing the story full circle. We don't have to be afraid to live where our culture actually lives. We can build here, invest here, and be fully ourselves here, not just as tourists for a week, but as neighbors, owners, and community. Pablo nailed it. This is my wife. This isn't my home country, right? So this is my wife. When she moved back, this is what she embodies. Like, wow, this is actually a place I can live. I can come full circle. She left when she was 12. As a kid, her mom moved her to the United States. This is probably many of you, because a lot of people that watch my stuff are Dominican American, Dominican Canadian, and so on and so forth. So this comment to me is exactly what we were just talking about. It is exactly how you're feeling. The person who said, hey, that you left New York and now you're seeing the full circle. This is the truth. Wi-Fi, startups, schools, airports, global clients, people just like us, bicultural, bilingual, bringing skills and resources home. It's not going backwards when you move back. You're bringing the story full circle. I love that. I'll leave that up for a second so you can read that. You can screen capture it if you need to. Take a photo of it. Share it with friends and family. Make it your own little mantra when people are giving you crap about wanting to move back to DR or buy here or invest here or whatever it might be. But that is awesome. All right, we got a few minutes. I'm going to go to some of your comments. Let's see what you have to say, and we'll go from there. I saw somebody say they just caught my live. Was it P-Rocks? P-Rocks caught your live. Tell Uncle Tony I said hello, keeping it authentic with the on-air live. I appreciate that. Yeah, I got on air right here. Up above that, you can't see it, but there's a Jamie Gruber lighted sign. It's that reddish sign that you see right there. Uncle Tony was from one of the videos. I created like a character. It was a lot of fun to do. I was trying some different things out. When I met my girlfriend, my future wife, I told her I'm not leaving the DR. The DR is my new home. Oh, that's amazing. Congrats to you, Ronnie. That's incredible. Let's see. The best thing I did for the future of my kids was when 2.5 years ago we moved to Punta Cana. The future the future in all Americas is the blessed country of República Dominicana. I love that. That's beautiful. Hey, Jamie. Excuse me. Oh, it was Ivan Nova. This is just a repeated reminder to their citizens about not lowering their guards while visiting the country. Nothing new. Agreed. I just, again, headlines stick is my concern. So when you say like increase caution, people don't read like, why do I have to increase caution? They're like, ooh, dangerous place. I'm not going to go there. Especially Americans. Canadians might be a little bit more worldly about it because Americans can stay in America. They don't have to leave. Canadians have to leave to get to different climates. Your camera focus is getting wonky. Yeah, I know, Papa Penguin. I got to figure out the camera thing. Thanks for dealing with it. I see it popping on and off here and there, or like unfocusing. Pack Dad 21, surprise Christmas present for the wife, bringing her to Punta Cana mid-March. Amazing for a week. Although she's more into the all-inclusive beach vibe. I'm more interested in businesses and condos. That's amazing. My title caught the attention. Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning. Lots of great discussion on the potential of removing dual citizenship. This will be replayed on YouTube. You guys can go back and watch that beginning part. You are welcome for sharing, D. Grujon. We got this. Veronica went to the Veterans Medical Tour at BCI Las Flores during the summer. Excellent program for vets. Special thanks to Cheryl Henderson. She really does an amazing job. And guys, trust me, like anybody that I refer, I'll give you, look, I'll drop a couple of things for you guys, tools for you guys. Number one is a site. You can go jamiegruber.com/referrals. Anybody I've used for real estate, even mortgage, for insurance, and then Cheryl, the development company, Boardwalk that I've invested in, all the links are there if you want to connect with any of those. If you need a realtor, you need a lawyer, you need any of that, go to jamiegruber.com/referrals. But I scrutinize these guys all the time. I was just with Cheryl yesterday. I'm like, I need you to explain this again. What problems are you seeing here? What about Meeches, the project there? Where's the permitting? And she gives me like a brief so that I'm confident in referring. This lady every time has passed the muster. She's always been on top of it. I went to the Veterans Clinic 2 days ago. I just did a reel today on YouTube. I'm sorry, on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook on this Veterans Care Center. They do a great job. A full YouTube video will be coming out. And I met a guy there named Carlos in the middle of like doing his own tour. I'm like, dude, do you mind if I film you and interview you? He's like, absolutely. So like a 1-minute segment of a guy actually doing the tour there. That'll be really good for any of you veterans or if you know any veterans. So that's the heads up there. Yeah, Leveal fan. I'm back on the passports thing. Millionaires do. The rich have passports, right? So that's that. The other tool real quick. Oops, what happened here? The other tool real quick I want to share with all of you is, if you haven't already, check out the DR Inner Circle. Yeah, it'll cost you $9 a month. You could pay for the year. It's $90. But it is an insanely cool community. And so many people have said to me that are in it, like, I'm so glad I'm part of this, because they're learning about the best vendors to use from other people, not from me. They're learning about the best vendors to use. They're learning about the activities in their where they're going to be, whether they live in Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, Santiago. We have chat threads for all the different ones, or they're coming down to visit, or they're buying there. People are helping others. Like, hey, I'm in Vista Cana. Oh, I'm buying a Vista Cana at this project. I don't know if it's off the ground. Oh, I drove by it today. So-and-so, I saw it. Insanely cool community. And my wife Sylvia is so involved in it, as am I, but she's like on it. She's got OCD with like making sure she's in every thread. We do live every week. This coming Tuesday, I've got my attorney coming in to answer questions about trusts, real estate, all of that, live on Zoom. So we get to interact and have a lot of fun. Every Tuesday we do it. Check out the Inner Circle, guys. It's a Christmas present for yourself. Join. Just try it out. If you don't like it after a month, you just email the collab@jamiegruber.com. She'll cancel it. It's no big deal. jamiegruber.com. Check it out. If to me, better than Netflix. It's a bunch of junk on Netflix. It's better than Netflix. Here we go. Are you going to deny Elon Musk his South African nationality, or did he give it up so he can work for the government in Doge? He did not. And I made that point earlier, Maria. I agree completely. Like, he's got 2 citizenships. I don't think he's going to want to give up his other one. I think it is that whole removal of dual citizenship. I don't think it. I know I'm 99% confident it doesn't even hit the Senate floor. It's not constitutional. However, there is a movement toward this. So if you're looking to get dual citizenship, like if you have Italian heritage, I know there's a pathway there, or whatever, Spanish, get it now. Because I do think eventually the administration may say, well, part of the process of us giving the country requesting information from us, all the information they need for you to get dual citizenship. Like, for instance, when I do my FBI background check for the DR citizenship, they could say now that comes with a $5,000 payment that you have to make. So if you want dual citizenship, we would never deny you that, but you got to pay for that. So I think that could come. So I would get it now versus later. That's kind of my thought. So for you, Milentre 9172, hopefully that title helped. I got 2 minutes before I have to go get my kids from school. Let me see what other comments are interesting here. Nick Bork, thank you for the content. You're welcome, Nick. It's Nick Bork here. My wife, is from DR. Do I know her? I might have seen that name on Instagram. And we met and married in Santiago in 1990. Damn, man. Good for you. You got married when you were like 6? That's one of those, like, you're younger than I'm sure you are things. Didn't come across well. You only say that when you see the person, they look younger. Nick, forget it. You're old. I'm not gonna kowtow. Damn it. My bad. It's crazy that this bill is being pushed by a person born in Colombia. Yeah, no, agree. Joy. Or Jay or Joy. I don't understand that other than like, I mean, maybe he's being like, it's not, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. I was gonna say, is he being pushed because of that? Like, oh, hey, we all agree with this. Hey, Senator, put this out there. We got this lobby money for you. You have more credibility because you already have dual citizenship versus me, just a regular American, white or black guy, blah, 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 blah. Maybe. I don't know. Moving back to Santiago as soon as the house sells in Roseville. Oh, I've been to Roseville, Michigan. Very cool, Nick. Very cool. Sold my house in Brighton, Michigan. So we are officially full-time here. Do you do the video on Sunday? Everybody wants that video. No, it's not out yet. Guys, that's going to take some editing. It'll be out. I promise you it'll come out. Before that, though, there'll be a veterans video that's coming out. I just did this full tour on trash. These are much more lower production. Like Santiago, guys, was a production. I brought my videographer, got him a hotel. We spent 3 days filming 8 hours a day, and it's got to be condensed down to like 30 minutes. So some of these jobs are big editing jobs. Some of them are what are called tops and tails. That's a big one. I was expecting this. I'm okay if they end dual citizenship. Max, you might be. I'm not, but good for you. I'm glad that you are. Common sense. It's not that common. You're right about that, Miguel. Jamie, how often do you check U.S. news and general current events? Often. I just sort of like, I search Dominican news every day. But I do, like on YouTube, I get like, it's just stuff that I'll watch. Like I'll watch like some of my favorite YouTube channels to watch to get informed, or at least not even informed, because there's no such thing, to get the spin. I like watching the Young Turks. I like watching Bill Maher. I like watching, what's his name? The Jewish guy, Ben Shapiro, because I get that side of it. Tucker Carlson is like wobbling back and forth. Candace Owens, I don't know. Like Candace Owens is that classic, like, before COVID, I would have been like, this chick is crazy. Post COVID, I'm like, that all sounds crazy to me. But if it ends up being true, I wouldn't be shocked. That's my post COVID view of the world now on anything. Candace Owens on anything. Like before COVID, I was a guy that was like, that's stupid. That's crazy. Like I would just take the info and be like, yeah, that, why would the media lie? Post COVID, now I'm like, yeah, I don't believe a lot of what she's saying, but if one day it turns out to be true, I'd be like, nah, okay, not shocked by it. So I kind of watch all of those to kind of get my information, but there's no way to just get straight info. I can't go to CNN or Fox. That's like disguised spin. I want the spin. I want to hear the left what the Young Turks say. I want to hear the right what Ben Shapiro says, and then I kind of form my opinions on my own based on that. I'm lost. So it's harder now to get citizenship. No. You didn't know, nothing's harder right now. It's a proposal that I don't see getting off the ground. All right. Might want to get that glare off the on-air sign. Yeah, I don't know what that is. How do I do that? Let's see. I'm going to knock that off the wall. All right. I got to go get my kids, everybody. I appreciate all of you jumping on, watching. If you're watching this on replay, if you've made it this far, I appreciate you. My only 2 asks. Check out the Inner Circle, jamiegruber.com. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Maybe one more ask. If you're subscribed, send this to somebody else to subscribe the channel, because I would love to get this channel to 50,000. If we could do it by the end of the year, that'd be amazing. We're over 48,000, 2,000 away. I promise you I'll fix the glare. Live every Friday, folks, noon Eastern, 2 to 3 other videos released per week. Filling it up for you. Trying to give you everything that just as it happens. Not coming up with stuff like, this is what happens in my life. Look, I'll show you this. It's going to look bad. You see that? See that cut on my head? I nailed my head at the gym a few days ago. It's still kind of, it's getting better. Nailed it. Like on a stupid nothing. I was just like bending down to change the weight stack, and there was like an arm of a chest press machine. I don't even know how I did it. I just like scraped on it. But I had to go to the ER, and there are some lessons that you learn when you go to the ER. I've been to the ER a million times, but like it was a reminder, not a million times, but I've been to the ER enough, but it was a reminder of like, this would be a good lesson to teach. So I have a video coming out on that whole experience and what I would say you should be aware of if you're going to use the medical system down here. So I just track my life as things pop up. I create content and I give it to all of you. You make the call on whether or not you agree, disagree. The cost of living stuff is always fun. The cost to move stuff is always fun. People are like, that's not that much. Like, okay, see what happens when you make the move, but we'll see what happens. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you all in a week, and I'll see you all on YouTube otherwise. Have a great one, everyone.